I am Thragg, bred to be the Grand Regent of the Viltrum Empire. I was created to rule. I was given power and fury and strength and rage to lead, to conquer, to kill.
Season 4 of Invincible has ended, and at the beginning of the season, there were controversies about Thragg. Most audiences didn't feel Thragg's first appearance lived up to his expectations. Now, the controversy actually emerged before his animated debut, when some viewers expressed concerns about Thragg's official voice actor, as prior to Thragg's voice actor being revealed, being Lee Pace, there were TikTok edits featuring Thragg with Ryan Hurst voicing the character, and honestly, an approach that worked well for certain lines. However, Lee Pace captures Thragg's essence better. Contrary to these TikToks with Ryan Hurst, he does fit a different character archetype, but for Thragg, it's a whole different ordeal. As Thragg's characteristics display leadership, tactical mastery, and resilience, traits that Pace conveys more effectively with his monotone and I'm not inquiring anything, but in his tone, the voice, the essence, the executions are all well done with Pace. See, to dive down into Thragg's character, Thrag's ideology is well suited to a leadership role, as he never sees loss as a defeat. When the Scourge virus nearly wipes out Viltrumites, he views it as the weak being purged and the strong enduring. That is a character who's resilient, coordinated, and has high faith in his belief. Fulfilling a character like this requires controlled, calm tone. Thragg also has an obsession with control and power, so being able to switch to a different tone when that control is lost should also be included for this character. Genuinely, who do you picture when you hear the word aura? And recent trends show characters depicted with an aura, and some like Piccolo tend to aura farm. As audiences believe Thragg had no aura at all and was a complete fraud, due to the expectations built up before his appearance. Until episode 7, when I can even say that the show did a way better job at introducing Thragg and executing him as an antagonist. See, Invincible and his group begin preparing to invade the last standing Viltrumites on their home planet. As they travel to planet Viltrum, the group mentally prepares, knowing this could be their last battle because of Thragg. See, Talia alerts everyone to stay cautious around Thragg, emphasizing his dominance, and while Nolan similarly warns Mark about the Viltrum's hierarchy, noting that Thragg is just on a whole nother level. He was basically saying like, hey, you know how humans see us Viltrumites as unstoppable? Well, imagine us Viltrumites as a human and Thragg as a Viltrumite himself. That's just best way to put it. Now, I want you to follow along. What Nolan and Talia are unknowingly giving Thragg is something called an aura lob. The term being to build up another individual to set up their aura. This is where I say, following on, Thragg shows off this aura. In the following events, Team Invincible begins to follow up on Thragg and the Viltrumites, just for Thragg to be right there, waiting, aura farming. As Thragg observes everyone fighting the remaining Viltrumites, Speed Racer comes by using the Infinity Ray, something that we've seen one-shot Viltrumite. Now, what he does is blast that Infinite Ray at Thragg, and what Thragg does is dodges it without looking, without changing his stance whatsoever. But for some reason, Nolan thinks to himself that maybe he could catch Thragg off guard. Maybe he's not ready. Just for 2 seconds later, Nolan is sent back to his home planet with a single punch by Thragg. This man is unstoppable. Okay, this is where I want to start being a little serious. As Nolan is on his backside on Viltrum, Thragg decides he wants to talk with Nolan, something unpredictable to be done during a war. The discussion Thragg wanted was an opportunity to welcome Nolan back to Viltrum. But why? Why in a war Thragg believes that he's already won and just wants to invite Nolan back after betraying his entire race and culture? What does Nolan bring that Thragg wants? It's kind of confusing, especially for him being our antagonist. Thragg is desperate. I have watched these two last episodes of Invincible a few times, and it took me a while to uncover this desperation Thragg is holding on to. So why couldn't I uncover this in my first analysis or my first watch of the episode? And that's literally because Thragg is genuinely has us believing he's already won, that there's no passing him, that there's nothing more that he already needs and won and has to accomplish. He has us as an audience persuade. With this further analysis, I start to question, what does Thragg have? As we're seeing, he is very powerful, he is strong, but what does he have to himself? Of course, he's the grand regent of the Viltrumites, but the one of few many Viltrumites? And what does Viltrumites even hold to themselves and hold for themselves? Their representation? Because Viltrum just looks like a tomb.
Viltrum is not a tomb. It is who we are.
And that's it. Thragg's character is entirely composed and uncomposed at the perfect time. These lines and tones from the show are done amazing at setting his character. Go even further with saying that this show is doing a great representation of Thragg. His impact on us audiences are amazing, but also the characters in his world. I want to specifically speak about him and Mark. In the last episode of Invincible, I want you to really think about the tragedy of Mark / Invincible's life. Like, really think about his life and his entire life, all the bad and good, and especially the bad that we went through and seen him go through the entire start of this show. While sometimes Mark seems hopeless, lost, conflicted, he has always been able to continue. Mark has never gotten PTSD or hallucinations. Until the beating that Thragg gave him. Now that's all he thinks about. He just thinks about Thragg. Thragg has distressed Mark so bad that he finally asks Sisu for professional help for his mental. Okay, that's as far as I'm gonna go for right now. I'm gonna start concluding this because I don't want people to think I'm starting just glazing Thragg. So look, the Invincible show gave us an adaptation that is well done, introducing new directions and stories that have left us all satisfied, but this truly is the icing on the cake. Now, before I end off saying that, without people thinking I'm claiming the show is perfect and there's no conflict, I do have one confliction, and that confliction is actually Thragg, which it's just his character design. I feel like his character design needs to be more relatable to the show. I mean, the comic books artwork, even from Corey or Ryan Ottley, they both depicted Thragg very massive, very swole. And one thing for sure is that they didn't have those two lines at the bottom of his chin. That just gets me. That gets me. I just want him to be swole, giant, more intimidating, and remove the two lines at the bottom of his chin. I get they're trying to make like the bottom lip kind of movement, but there's other ways. But with that being said, in closing out, it will be a pleasure for you, amazing audiences, to share your thoughts and comments on your conflicts and pros that you've received from this season of Invincible. Other than that, subscribe and like the video, and have a great, wonderful day.